Hi everyone, my name is Chris Martin. Welcome to Keto with me. It is day 140 on my journey back into keto. If you're new to my channel, check out my day 0 video where I talk about the reasons why I created this video series. All right, let's roll the clip. Clip for week 20, days let me look here, 134 to 140. Wow. So we'll go ahead and get right to the weight so you can, wow. Anyway, lost my train of thought there for a second. So for week 20, I lost 2 pounds, which is, exactly what I'm, trying to lose each week. I'm not trying to go too crazy. I think the last week it was like 3.1, which was just a fantastic week. So that makes me over 60 pounds, actually 60.6 for my 20 weeks into my journey on keto here. So I'm now at 173.8. So I estimate within the next 2 to 3 weeks, I'll be in the 160 range. I kind of mentioned before, my goal, it's not 100% determined, but I kind of feel like it's going to be in the between 155 and 165. I just don't know yet. So I'll know it when I get there, but it's definitely coming sometime in the next probably, 6 to 7 weeks, maybe. So, all right, let's roll through the rest of the numbers. So my food for the 5 days, and it's 5 days because I completed my 11th 72-hour fast. Woohoo! And my food is my fat grams were 145, my carb grams were 19, and this is the average for the 5 days. Protein 95 for those 5 days, and then my average macros for those 5 days were 74% fat, 5% carbs, and 21% protein, which my protein was a little higher, and you'll see that when we get to the goals here. Just a couple of those days where, I usually what I do is I kind of get things typed in ahead of time, but, I kind of did it after the fact and then realized that, I kind of went a little over on the protein. So we got to be careful about that, but it didn't kill me. I still lost weight and I still feel really good and all that. But the one thing I did not do is I did not chase the numbers. And I talked about that, in my tweaking macros video. So if you get a chance, check that out. Just don't chase the numbers. I mean, if it's, this close, I mean, you could just, I could go add fat, but just why? I mean, it's close enough for this, and then I just make adjustments for the next week or the next day or whatnot. So, all right, on to the blood for the 7 days. This is a 7-day average. My blood glucose was 79, on average for the 7 days. It was, the previous week was 79 as well, so I'm doing really good there. My ketones for the week, 2.0 average. Previous was 2.1. Fantastic. Dr. Boz ratio 47 this week, or for week 20. and then, you know, it was previously 41. So we had a little slight increase, which, you know, you want to kind of go lower, but still that's a good number. MIGKI, you know, is 2.6 for this week. Previously it averaged, you know, 2.3 for the previous week. That's fine. So I had some really good meals for that week. I started my, you know, week 20 with, you know, Chipotle, yum yum. Always nice to have that. Thursday I had, you know, breakfast for dinner, which was, you know, bacon and eggs and so forth. Friday we had this creamy chicken bacon wrap. You're supposed to wrap it, but we always just put the bacon on the side, and we had some Brussels sprouts with it. Man, that was really delicious. On Saturday, you know, we were out of town and we were at the mother-in-law, so we just got steak and, you know, stuff like that. So I had steak, shrimp, you know, green beans. You'll see it on the video. And a salad, that's it. And then on Father's Day, and you're gonna wanna look at this one, Father's Day, I had a pizza, you know, that, you know, and this time we tried a different crust. You know, a lot of the crust will either be made of cheese and some kind of flour, you know, like almond flour or something like that. My wife had been making these keto tortilla chips, and those had a really, you know, because it's made with some garlic salt. So we actually took that recipe and modified it a little bit. So really it's just almond flour, you know, mozzarella, and not like overly done mozzarella. That's what I kind of, you know, didn't like, because, you know, before I love pizza. So when you eat pizza, it's like, you know, these other types of dough, they would just be so almost overly cheese, which is hard to do for me because I like cheese. But this one turned out really well, you know, so you know, I really liked it. So I liked it when I finished, you know, my fast and was able to, you know, just today, you know, break my, you know, start my week 21, and then I was able to eat, you know, the leftover from that. So even 3 days later, it was just fantastic. So good chance to check that out. Other quick highlights for that week, besides I mentioned I was kind of high on the protein, and, you know, my 11 72-hour fast is that, you know, we were out of town. We went to a place and they had a zip line. This time I didn't have to worry about, like, am I too heavy? Does the seatbelt fit? You know, etc. It was just fantastic to be able to, you know, ride that comfortably with my son and you know, and his cousin and so forth. It's actually like his second cousin, but anyway, let's get on to the goals. All right, as you can see, the goals I mentioned earlier is like days 134 to 140. So, you know, my sleep is still doing fantastic, you know, averaging close to 8, you know, every day. Once in a blue moon, I'll have like a crappy night of sleep, but I haven't had any, you know, really in a long time and so forth. So moving on to the, you know, my eating keto, you know, I fast a lot. I do the 1 meal a day, you know, so, and then I also, you know, like to do a long fast in addition to that. Even though I took a break like a couple weeks ago, I didn't fast for a couple weeks. And then I switched to 48s for a couple times. Now, you know, I started up the 72s last week again. So that made it my 11th 72-hour fast. But looking on the sheet here, you'll see for the 5 days that I did OMAD, my average fast was 23.6. That's fantastic. You know, I'm always targeting the clean eating style. Although if you look through my video, you'll see sometimes I have like pepperoni and some other things, you know, it's hard to be perfect, folks. So my average my average carbs for that week, as you can see on the sheet, is, you know, 19.2, so that was really good. And then my, you know, average macro percents for targeting, as I mentioned, you know, previously, was 74, 5, and 21. So yeah, a little high on the protein. I even highlighted on the spreadsheet here so you guys could see it. You know, just, I don't like to do that. So in order to mitigate that, I have to, you know, make sure that I'm trying to put the numbers in ahead of time and then not like have to fix it afterwards. So nonetheless, still lost a couple pounds for the week, and, you know, maintain my ketones and everything else that I'm doing. So no big deal. As you know, always I track, you know, so that's really important to me. May not be as important to you, but, you know, I feel like that's one reason why I'm really successful at this. You know, I do meditation and relaxation, so, you know, I'm still doing like 5 here, 5 there, a couple times a day, and that works out really well for me, kind of keeps me grounded, relaxed, and so forth. So no exercise, again, not doing that until I get to my goal weight, and then I'll do a whole new series when I kind of keto and exercise. So I'm still really stoked about getting to that point. So as you can see from the spreadsheet that, I've got, I'm killing it, across the board. So that's really exciting for me. All right, let's get on to my final thought for today. My final thought for, the end of week 20, I said a minute ago, like final thought for the day, really is just that, if you stumble, and you hear this all the time, if you stumble, just get back up. I don't consider, me stumbling. And here's what my thought on this is that, I had this in my head that, I was going to, keep doing these 72-hour fasts, and I did 9 of them in a row. And then I started one, and I just abandoned it after like 26 hours, a while back. And I had a discussion about this that, no problem. I'll just, get up and go. And then, next week was the vacation. So then I had 2 weeks in a row that I didn't do a 72. And then, actually I might have a little out of order there. I did a 48 and then another 48. And then, yeah, I think that's the way it went. I abandoned one, 2 48s, and then I chose not to do it on vacation. So point being is that, last week I started back up to 72s, and, I reached out to my brother, I reached out to Jamie, if you watch the mentoring series, and I said, hey, I know you're starting to do these. Won't you do your first 40, I mean, not your first 48-hour fast, but won't you, it might have been his first 48. Anyway, just do it along with us, and then you can jump off at 48. He ended up turning that into a 72, so you'll see that, in his video for, week 7, but which was phenomenal. But, I did that strategically because I was like, all right, I just mentally just need like an extra little support. So like Dr. Boz says, you have your tribe, they both, said, okay, let's do it. Both of them did along with me. And what I found is that, it just like it clicked right back on. So, now I've done the 10th fast, 72, 11th, 72, and then my plans are for the next week to do, the 12th, and then so on and so on, all the way up until I get to there. And then my goal after that would be, try to do 1 72-hour or something a month, or maybe every 2 months, along with some 48 sprinkled in there. I really don't know yet. I'll decide that when I get there. So that's my final thought. Just, I broke, not broke bad way, but just I kind of like broke my rhythm, and I thought, man, I'll never get that back, because that was just like so great. I got it back. I feel just the same as I did before. Actually, I feel a little bit more empowered. Okay, that's it for day 140, aka week 20. Thanks for taking time to watch the video today. Please like and subscribe so you can keto with me and get updates on the rest of my journey, my diary series journey. Also, please take time to please take time to leave some comments down below. Just remember, nobody's perfect. Be a coach, not a critic, and take care, folks.